record does not reflect that investigation, does not reflect the reason why he ultimately resigned, and does not reflect what he was doing to girls at the high school that he used to work at before going here. Just blows my mind that his record is clean and he's allowed to move on. So I'll tag that video below so you can go back and get that full story, but the gist of what's going on here is that a teacher in my school's district last year was under investigation for grooming my daughter and other girls, and during the investigation he was allowed to resign, and then he was ultimately hired by a new district in Wisconsin. Now, while that's good for my daughter and my school district, it's not good for the district where he was allowed to move to. And I've made it a mission of mine to get with Wisconsin legislators, with DPI, to make sure that this does not happen in the future. Now, I'm early on in this process, but I did learn something yesterday that I think parents in Wisconsin need to know. There's a law in Wisconsin that says that if a teacher resigns during an investigation and that district has a reason to believe that he resigned because of that investigation or because of misconduct, then they have to report that to Wisconsin DPI, which is the teacher licensing agency. And here's the law that I'm talking about. Wisconsin Statute 115.31. If a licensed educator resigns and the school district administrator has a reasonable suspicion that the individual's resignation relates to the individual having engaged in immoral conduct, the school district administrator must report the name of that individual to DPI, along with a complete copy of the personnel file and any records related to the investigation. And then below that, once that happens, DPI will initiate their own investigation to determine whether or not they should initiate proceedings to revoke that teacher's license. And so I sent an email to the administrator that was in charge of this investigation. Here's the reply that I got back. The district did not report the teacher's resignation to the DPI under that statute. At the time of the resignation, the district did not have any reasonable suspicion that his resignation related to his engagement in immoral conduct, as that term is defined under the statute. Here's my problem as a parent in the state of Wisconsin. This investigation was into the fact that a teacher was grooming my daughter and several other teenage girls within the high school he was working at. The investigation was going on, and then suddenly this teacher resigned. Now, we did not even hear from the administration that he resigned. We never heard of an outcome of the investigation. Respectfully, this administration really showed us no courtesy throughout the entire process. But the teacher resigns during the middle of the investigation, moves on to another school district with a clean record, nothing on his record as far as I know about any investigation. How in the world does an administration look at that and say, well, no, we don't have any suspicion to think that he resigned because of the investigation? Are you serious? This is something that needs to change within the state of Wisconsin. Are there laws in place to protect our kids from teachers like this? There are. The problem is administrators are not actually using those laws the right way. Nobody's being held accountable. They're allowed to move on. That needs to change, and that's what I'll be working with legislators in the state to make sure happens.